Week 14 in the NFL here at SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We're talking right now with very popular returning football analyst Jeff Grant, sports betting writer for the Bleacher Report. Jeff, thanks for being with us once again.
Great to be with you, Peter. This is one of the better games to handicap due to the quarterbacks involved.
Yes, absolutely. All right, now we're talking about the second game, Saints at Giants. Now, last week you nailed, and I don't use that word lightly, nailed calling Atlanta to get the cover over the Saints. Immediately after our call, I swear I went to my sports book and took Atlanta -3 at -130 or whatever it was. Got an easy cover, a big one with that, so I want to thank you personally for that one. Absolutely nailed it. It was a great analysis. You explained exactly why it was a bad situation for the Saints, because they were off of sort of a bubble-bursting loss on a letdown situation. Now, though, they're 2 games removed from that loss, and they're off of extended rest while the Giants are playing off a Monday night loss. So I'm curious to see where you think there might be value here. The Giants are a 4.5-point home favorite.
Yeah, last week we played against the Saints in the first half, and that was obviously the best play of playing the first half for the total game. Falcons went off on a 17-0 lead, but the Saints outgained the Falcons by a considerable margin in that game, and they've been playing a little better defense. And this is one of those games, Peter, that we've talked about in the past that you really got to read the line. And this is absolutely paramount in this game, because I basically developed the line of the Giants favored by 4.5. And so I found it interesting that Pinnacle opened this line on Sunday night at 6. And of course the Giants played on Monday night. So maybe some people found that number 6 attractive, or maybe not. It got bet down. But what I've been interested in seeing is the fact that it stayed at 4.5, even though the Giants are in what's perceived a must-win situation. And that's not just the perception of the public bettors, Peter. Tom Coughlin, the New York Giants head coach, I was watching a press conference today, basically said that he needs the Giants, his team, to win 4 games in a row to make the playoffs. So I find it very interesting that the line has not moved, given that must-win perception that bettors usually like to jump on.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one because, you look at the Giants game last week, they definitely had some troubles. They couldn't stop the run. Eli was out of sync with his receivers much of the night. Those seem like very correctable issues for the Giants. And, we've seen them bounce back from one week looking horrible to the next week looking like, Super Bowl contenders. But then again, it's a scheduling situation. I mean, rest at this point in the year, every team is banged up. So, you have one team coming from Thursday, another team coming from Monday. That's got to be a big advantage for the Saints, right?
I think it is. And for one reason and one reason only. You have Drew Brees off one of his worst career performances. He threw 5 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. That ended his streak. He broke Johnny Unitas' record of most consecutive games with the touchdown pass. He's also, Peter, 4-0 in his career against the Giants with 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. 0. Their offense, everybody talks about how the Redskins offense really had their way against the Giants. Well, no offense in the National Football League with Sean Payton. He's of course not there, but with Drew Brees under center, no offense has had better numbers against the Giants defense than this New Orleans Saints team. So I think you have to take the points here. Brees is 13-4-1 in his career off back-to-back straight-up losses. And yes, we came off that bubble burst situation a couple games ago, like you said. But now it's all about gaining momentum for the New Orleans Saints going into 2013. And I think it starts here, playing the defending Super Bowl champions. And they've also had very good success in this series. And Eli Manning, I never play him as a favorite. I know how well they can just blow a team out, but 27-31-1 in his career as a home favorite. So I think you play quarterbacks here, and Drew Brees and the Saints get my money.
All right, great points. Now, going back to what you were saying before about how the line movement has been interesting, or the lack of movement has been interesting, and you think that indicates that the market is saying that maybe the Saints are the play or that the Giants are the play?
Well, the way I looked at it when I did my early market report for SBR, you'll find it on the SBRForum homepage, I would have thought, based on how the NFC East division is, and basically Giants are perceived as the only team that has a playoff chance going into this week, that yes, you could take the 6 off the board with the Saints and knock it down to potentially where it is 4.5, 5. But I'd expect now that we're on Wednesday that if people were buying into that must-win factor, even the sharps did, they would grab 4.5 immediately based on the fact that it was 6. But they're not doing that. Mm-hmm. So you may be able to get a higher number when the public gets involved. They start hearing this marching order of a must-win situation. I would suspect that people will be able to get a better number again on the Saints towards kickoff.
All right. Great analysis. As always, Jeff Grant from the Bleacher Report. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again next week.